as he sees now whether or not any scope for incremental transmission is there post the recent tweaking that SBI has done. But let's move on now and speak about the festive cheer that Dalal Street is witnessing. Auto majors are raking in huge profits backed by festive demand and a good monsoon as well. Escorts has posted a strong set of sales numbers for the month of September, reporting an upswing of 34% in total sales. Will the sales momentum continue? That's the key question to ask. And to discuss the gain and get some more insight into a category-wise dissection, joining us on the show is the CFO of the company, Mr. Bharat Madan. Mr. Madan, good to have you on the show. Thank you for joining in. Firstly, take us through the underlying strength behind these numbers. Domestic sales are up 32%, and exports also probably on low base have gone up 2.5 times.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Madan, you're audible to us. Take us through the underlying strength that we've seen in the September numbers. Domestic sales going up by 32% and exports on a low base rising 2.5 times.
Yeah, there are two reasons. One, obviously, since I said the rural demand is very strong as of now because the monsoon has been good and well distributed, but for certain pockets in the north and some part of central India where there is some deficiency in the monsoon, otherwise generally it's been well spread out. And second, obviously, the preponement of the festive season to September this time. So it used to normally fall in Q3, and this time most of the things have shifted to Q2 and also got spread out to Q3. So this time it will be slightly longer festive season, which you'll see spread over 2 quarters. So I think that has led to really the good growth rates, which is being shown by most of the companies in the industry. So same thing we are seeing trend happening in the Escorts also. So overall, I think the industry has grown about 20% in the first 6 months. And we expect probably at next quarter may not see that sort of growth rate. So you will see slightly flattish sort of market or maybe slightly very marginal growth there and maybe 5-6% type of growth. But overall, for the full year, we still expect the industry probably will show double-digit growth or anywhere between 12 to 15%.
Could you take us through that number again, Mr. Madan? 5-6% for the second half?
For the quarter 3,
okay.
For Q3. So overall, for the full year, industry will probably still show 12 to 15% growth. So Q4 will be slightly stronger, maybe 10-12% growth is possible.
Okay, so 5-6% volume growth for Q3 and around 10-12%. So you'll average out at around 12% for the year.
That's right.
Okay. Mr. Madan, tell us, after the kind of play out of the monsoons that we've seen, what's the kind of response that you're getting from Tier 2, Tier 3 as well? Because you said that rural demand has been good. How does this compare with the last year? Because in the last year also the monsoon playout was very good. In fact, in this season we've seen some uneven distribution, some scanty rainfall and some flooding also in certain regions.
Yeah, so like you said, certain pockets have been affected, especially in the north markets like UP East where the flooding has happened, or MP or part of the Bihar where the flooding was there. Haryana, Punjab, where the rainfall has not been really good, slightly deficient. So I think there are certain territories, obviously, where the demand has got impacted now. So if you look at September month specifically, the lower stronger market in the north and central zone only was 42%, but the weaker market with the rainfall has been pretty good, especially the south and western region. They've shown 60% plus growth. So I think that tendency definitely will, play. But I think where the flooding has happened, we expect the next season should be very strong for them. So every season they'll really show good signs of growth. That's why we're expecting the March quarter fully see good number of growth happening.
Mr. Madan, we've had 2 full months of GST implementation. In fact, 3 full months. So what's the kind of volume impact that you've seen post that? Because initially there were, teething issues with regard to an inverted duty structure that the industry was also complaining about. How has the impact of these 3 months been, sir?
So I think now things are settling down, but there was some disruption in the temporarily, I think, for 2 months or so. But I think one of the channels is suddenly getting settled down now. Whatever the issues they had, I think they have been taken care of. So we still had issue on the inventory side. I think the transition phase, whatever channel inventory was there's no input trade wasn't allowed to the dealers on that. So which was one of the nagging issues which the channel had been facing, and we've been raising this with the government also. But so far nothing has happened, and we want to know anything probably can happen now on that front. So I think the trade has settled in now. So we expect probably next 2 quarters probably we'll see the growth coming back to the normal levels. So whatever disruptions had to happen have already gone through.
Exports for the industry, per se is a little challenging. So you've done well as far as the year-on-year performance on export growth is concerned. Do you think this number is sustainable, or are we likely to plateau out or normalize a little post this?
We expect, I think we should continue to show good growth numbers on the export side. One, obviously the base is very low for us. So last year we did only 1,000 on tractor. This year we're looking at doubling the numbers to 2,000 plus, which is the run rate also, which is in the first 6 months has been happening. So we expect we should be able to deliver that sort of number. And our strategy also going forward is to put a lot of focus on the export side. We are building our portfolio for that region, and a lot of investment has really gone into that. So I'm sure, I think that's something which will start paying off now in the next 4 or 5 years. We'll see the volumes further picking up on the export side for us.
Right. And finally, before we let you go, sir, what's the plan regarding the electric vehicle? What's the kind of capex that we are looking at there, and by when could we see some materialization of that same?
I think this was really a concept model which was launched. So I think it will really commercialize this entire concept will still take some time. There is still a lot of challenges with the company or the industry is facing the electric vehicle front, including the battery cost and the sort of overall cost of ownership of the factor, which is continues to remain high as of now. So I think we'll also have to fully watch for the trends really developing in this segment. Maybe next 1.5 to 2 years we'll see, I think, how we can commercialize this for concept also for the farmers at a much cheaper cost or the affordable cost compared to what the cost is coming today.
All right, Mr. Madan, we're going to leave it at that, but thank you so much for joining in and giving us a sense of the underlying strength for the September numbers, how the export market looks like, and what has been the experience of 3 months of full GST. Now you see inventory levels also normalizing and the course going ahead as well, and more importantly for giving us what your growth outlook is for the second half. We could see a dip in the third quarter, but then a revival and a normalized level of on an annual basis of around 12% volume growth. That's what the management seems to suggest. That's Escorts for you. But let's put the focus back on the RBI policy. And now a couple of things with regard to the fixed income side of the market. Immediately post the policy notification, we saw the 10-year bond yield spike up to almost 6.7%, probably also because